There was a lion sitting within an African zoo, bored and not interested in socializing with other lions. When the zookeeper threw a ball at him, no one could believe their eyes. One of the zookeepers in the Johannesburg Zoo raised this 11-year-old lion by hand, caring for it personally like one would a pet. Much like a house cat, this lion had a very calm disposition. Because of how gentle-spirited this animal was, it was easy for many of the other zookeepers to develop an attachment to it. The lion was a special lion named Triton. Because this is the name of a demigod within ancient Greek mythology, it could be said the lion was given a majestic name for being such a majestic creature. By looking at his regal features, he certainly fits the profile of royalty. Have you ever seen such a fabulous mane on a lion? He certainly looks kingly to me. Even though Triton was fortunate enough to have a beautiful enclosure within the zoo to match his stunning looks, he never really took advantage of it, nor did he seem to appreciate it. This enclosure was large enough to not only house him, but also 7 other female lions. Nevertheless, Triton never bothered to engage with these other lions, much preferring to spend time by himself. There were times when another lion would approach him, but he would ignore them. Do you think Triton was just shy or genuinely introverted? The zookeepers began to grow concerned because Triton appeared to be quite a depressed lion. Although socializing and playing with others was normal for his species, this behavior suggested that he found no excitement in it. Triton was not a leader by any means, but it was strange that he didn't even really have any friends. However, his attitude changed significantly when he was introduced to something by one of the zookeepers. This zookeeper was Agnes Malalik. Since 2004, Agnes has been the zoo curator at the park. Due to the long time she spent at the zoo, she has witnessed the growth of many animals. In particular, she has observed Triton develop from a cute cub into a large predator. Like the other zookeepers, she noticed Triton's lack of enthusiasm when it came to playing. None of the toys the zookeepers provided him ever caught his eye. One day, she decided to do something different in order to get a reaction from him, and it ended up being a bigger deal than previously expected. Among the many toys that the zoo animals would be given, Agnes noticed a brand new soccer ball, or at least she thought it was new because it appeared to be untouched. Curious, Agnes took the ball into her hands. She looked back at Triton, who continued to sit in his usual spot, unmoving. Even with a toy in her hands, he showed no reaction. So she decided to throw the soccer ball into the enclosure, aiming at where Triton was. From Agnes's perspective, it was as if the white lion's face lit up with excitement. The ball soared across the area, eventually landing close to Triton's paws. Once the lion marked the existence of the ball, there was nothing that could stop him from playing with it. Sometimes Triton would push the soccer ball around gently with his large front paws. Other times, he pawed hard enough for it to go flying, giving him the space to chase after it. The sight of Triton in his enclosure playing with the ball looked just like any other soccer player practicing with a ball in the middle of a football field. There are so many different toys or things that zookeepers can give animals in their cages in order to entertain them. But for Triton, ever since he was introduced to that soccer ball, this has been his sole interest. You'll hardly see the lions doing anything, but once you throw the ball into Triton's enclosure, he goes crazy chasing the ball around the enclosure, said Agnes. When it comes to the other lions within his enclosure, Triton isn't too happy with sharing his ball. There's even been footage of Triton playing soccer, but there is no other lion in sight. It's as if he has claimed ownership of the ball, and all other lions respect that, exactly in the manner of a king, one could say. It's strange to think that a lion that used to spend all his time sitting around would be given so much motivation due to a single soccer ball. There are times when the ball goes flying into the water, and yet, even that doesn't stop him. Triton will happily jump into the water in order to retrieve his ball, and will go back to pushing and kicking it around. This shift in energy is what makes this particular case so intriguing. Anyone who owns a cat will know that they are not the most upbeat animals, especially when compared to other pets like dogs. Cats spend a lot of time simply sitting around, observing their surroundings, or sleeping. Unsurprisingly, this kind of behavior is no different for the king of the jungle. In fact, wild lions have been recorded to sleep for over 15 hours. While lionesses tend to sleep somewhere between 15 to 18 hours, male lions can sleep up to a shocking 20 hours. No wonder it was so surprising to see Triton off his feet. He used to spend most of his time dozing off. Lions are also considered to be nocturnal animals. They tend to sleep mostly during the day, and when the sun goes down, they begin to get ready for hunting. However, the video that shows Triton playing around with the ball is recorded during daylight. Who knew that such a small object could bring about a drastic change in such a big animal? Introducing Triton to a soccer ball has been beneficial due to the activity encouraging him to use his body like an animal should. But did you know that playing around has a very important role in the development of lion cubs? We all know that lions are wild animals, and usually they are free to roam around wherever they please. However, one of the key ways in which a lion develops its unmatched hunting abilities is through playing as a cub. Playing, whether it be with objects or with fellow lions, can be likened to the skills of a grown hunter. Lions are adept at stalking or fighting. These are skills that are honed through playtime. And in Triton's case, playing soccer in his playtime. Playing increases mental stimulation for these little cubs. It sounds very similar to how human babies work. Think of how often newborns and toddlers are associated with toys. Interaction with seemingly random objects increases an animal's awareness of the world. It's important for human babies to play around because it strengthens the bonds for memory and perception. This applies to lion cubs in the exact same way. In addition to these individual benefits, the interactions the lion cubs get with others during these games is also important and will affect them for the rest of their life. This is because lions, just like many other kinds of animals, depend on each other for support and for hunting. In order to build and strengthen these social bonds, lions need to learn how to communicate with each other. Hopefully, now that Triton has become quite confident playing with his soccer ball, he'd be able to use that confidence to interact with other lions in its enclosure. Remember how he used to be quite reserved around the other lions? Well, his personality has changed for the better ever since he started playing. There's even a chance that he'll introduce the other lions to soccer, eventually being able to play a game with them. When it comes to sport-like games, many would say the more the merrier. And even wilder, though, is that maybe there will be a human brave enough to start playing soccer with Triton, because no one had ever taught the lion the rules of the game or how certain objects should be used. It sure is impressive to watch him masterfully paw the ball around. There is only one explanation for Triton's skills, and that is natural talent. I think all soccer players can learn a thing or two from Triton because he's the best soccer player, claimed Agnes. If there's one thing to take away from this story, it's the fact that no matter how big a feline gets, it is bound to enjoy playing around. This playfulness is in their nature. And while these cats, be it a tiny domesticated house pet or a large wild animal, enjoy playing around with their toys, we as people enjoy watching them. I hope you found this story interesting. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this one. I'll see you again in the next video.